Let's go on for 1 second here. Um, I'm a Ring of Honor guy. After ECW was shut down, I had to move on to other things. It was a heartbreaking breakup there. But I moved on to Ring of Honor, where I fell in love and then found you again, and you won the title. what was you were in Ring of Honor for a couple of years there, and you won the championship, didn't you? What was your favorite part of Ring of Honor?
What was my what part of it?
What was your favorite part of Ring of Honor?
Oh, God, there were different parts. I mean, I loved, working with some of the guys. Like Tyler Black, I'd worked with in Chicago quite a few times for a company called AAW and a couple other indies before Ring of Honor. So I'd always liked working with Tyler and Nigel. I'd worked with him, oh, man, quite a few years before in Ring of Honor. They just brought me in for one shot out in New Jersey. I think it was at some sportsplex or something. But so I always enjoyed, when I got a chance to work with them again, I was really looking forward to it. And then, there was some others. I'd wrestled, Jimmy Jacobs quite a bit on some indies too. But it was, for me also, it was exciting because it gave me a little, after a while you get kind of, complacent. Because in this business, I've always tried to set new goals to achieve. So you always have some sort of a drive. And after so many years and so many companies I'd worked for, I guess I was having a hard time trying to figure out another goal, and then so when Ring of Honor, when that opportunity came up, it really lit a fire under my ass. And then it was real challenging to keep up with these younger guys who, and they could really go. So, but,
yeah, no, listen, we have Roderick Strong on right after we have you on. And one of the matches I remember is you and Austin Aries and Roderick Strong, a great match. And it was you've had some great matches in there. Anything, who's your favorite guy? If you any one guy of independent, I'm talking independent, not ECW, not TNA, not WWE. Who is, of all the people you wrestled outside the indie world, who's your dark horse favorite?
Well, once again, I can't pick a favorite.
I'm trying to make you get off that fence. I'm telling you.
I can't. I tell you, but I will tell you this: I want my retirement match to be with Scott Showtime Summers down in he lives in San Antonio, and I've worked with him quite a few times for Anarchy Championship Wrestling down there in Austin, in San Antonio. So I want my retirement match to be with him, but I don't know where.
That's a good dark horse one.
Yeah, I want it to be at one of these Extreme Rising shows. So we'll see.
That'd be awesome, to be honest with you. M-Try, go ahead.
Yeah, Jerry, in your most recent run with TNA, you got to be involved in some pretty high profile angles, and most notably with your old rival Rob Van Dam, and you guys had a match that a lot of people, myself included, felt kind of stole the show at Bound for Glory.
I was there.
I was wondering how you felt about being able to have that match with RVD again after you guys had so many great battles in ECW.
Well, I was really looking forward to it, especially after the Destination X match, when they, that was supposed to be it, just the Destination X match, and that was it. But I guess Vince Russo liked it. I don't think he'd ever seen what me and Rob did in ECW, and so they called me up to come back and do a month run, build up to Bound for Glory, or maybe it was a couple months, maybe it was 3 months, something like that, because we were supposed to wrestle at the No Surrender pay-per-view before it, but we got scratched. So I was looking forward to it again, and then when they said it was going to be their version of a TLC match, I was really looking forward to it, because now we could really give them some good old-school extreme stuff, But then, on the way there, they didn't give the angle any build. So it just seemed like we were an afterthought, It was just, here, turn me heel, have Rob leave me laying on a bathroom floor, and that was it. It was like, where's the chase, Where's this going to? It was just like, all right, here you go. So it just felt like they just threw us together just for a little nostalgia because it was in Philly. And then when it came the night of the pay-per-view, we weren't given much time. And then we were told in a TLC match we couldn't use tables. So it was just very disappointing after all, anyway. But we still, went out there and tried to give it our all with what we were given.
Listen, not knowing any of what you just said, that match was still fantastic, and it did steal the show because of the events of later in the night. As good as Hogan and Sting were, it was Hogan and Sting. You know what I mean? And it was a Philly crowd, and that place went crazy for your match. As much as you didn't get to use tables, there were some amazing spots, and no matter how much time you were given, you sold the hell out of it. And that's why we loved you. That's why we loved ECW. That's why we loved it all. You know what I mean? Brandon Galvin, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Jerry, we opened the show talking about Extreme Rules and how the pay-per-view lacked heat, and you just brought up a great point, how you guys went in to a pay-per-view with a great gimmick match, and you guys are two of the best that have ever stepped in the ring, and, how does that impact the performers when your match doesn't get the build you think it does? How does that affect your in-ring work once you get to the pay-per-view? I mean, even if you put on a great show, what does that do for you guys psychologically and when you go in towards the match and coming out of it?
Oh, I mean, that's a tough one because no matter what, I'm always going to go out there and, give my best, and it just sometimes the circumstances just make it harder for you to go out there and do what you want to do, but that's the politics of the business.
No, let's talk about your, MC, you got a question? Sorry.
I was just going to ask, we touched on it earlier that you've been affiliated with so many different, promotions. What would you say is some of the main differences between like a WWE versus, say, an ECW, just sort of in the way that they're run or in the way that they treat their talent?
Well, ECW was a little more, you had a lot more leeway with what you did in the ring, and the time constraints weren't as tight because we weren't doing a live show. When you're doing a live show, you got to have every segment right down to the second because when you're going live, it's very important to finish on your cue so you have time for the commercial breaks and stuff. So that's a very big difference.
And listen, Jerry, start talking before we send you out of here. Talk about you got two shows next weekend, one in New York, one in Philadelphia for this Extreme Rising. You're facing Matt Hardy Friday night, and then you're facing Homicide, who's a great wrestler, one of the most underrated around right now. How do you feel about what's going on? And tease anything you got to tease now, man. We're going to send you out on this.
What I can't believe is they put me in the main event both nights. They forget I'm retiring for a reason. It's because my body's beat up. So I was surprised.
But you know what? You didn't look like you were about to retire against Crowbar. For real, that match it was amazing. Like I said, it stole the show for good reason. You at your age are still better than 99% of the wrestlers who are younger than you.
I don't know. I still have a lot to learn. That's one of the
well, you better learn it fast. You're retiring.
I know. That's what sucks about retiring is there's so much more I want to learn.
Well, tell us about the weekend. Are you looking forward to it? Where's everything going to be? Just fill everybody in so they can go find out about it.
Well, you know what? I'm not sure where the shows are at, but no, I'm really looking forward to it because I think the only time I got to wrestle Matt Hardy was in it's either a tag or a six-man tag in WWF when I was there. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I've wrestled Homicide quite a few times on some indies, and Homicide is one guy I've really always enjoyed wrestling because he's very intense and he gets you fired up. And he's got great ring music. He comes out to Hatebreed. So if I'm in the ring before him, So if I'm in the ring before him, I'm always jamming.
Hey, we started the show with Pantera, man. We're heavy to the bone. That's what we do too. Listen, your Friday show is in New York City. Your Saturday show's in Philadelphia. Your Homicide on Saturday. You got Matt Hardy Friday. Listen, man, thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it, dude.
My pleasure, guys.